Hello, Mr. Yasin Barnes.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Mr.
we
Simon.
are. Yeah, it is a Saturday afternoon in Cape Town. The sun is boosting. It's a lekker day to braai. It's
Ooh.
fantastic.
If this
day
is a
outside.
trailer for the summer we're about to have, then I'm freak excited.
Yes.
Just good vibes and good feelings.
And good choppies. Always.
Yeah, guys, if you didn't hear, might as well go to our braai episode and then go see what we're about to do this summer.
That's right. And thank you so much for the reception towards that. Was that last week? We did braai.
Yes. No. We did 21st last week.
Was it 21st last week?
Yeah.
Yo, maybe.
Some of you
21st,
shared some
yeah.
wild stories with us also.
Yeah, like Topi's fighting in the road and it wasn't even a Topi. And it's a kak mad story. I was in disbelief. And
Yeah, like one of the uncles came to the house. He said he was the father. Then he ended up getting creepy with the girls and they had to chase him out. And wild this on the streets here.
Yo. But
Why
21st
you-
was so lekker.
Why are you wearing sunglasses?
I was outside and I'm inside, so the sunglasses are just on. You know, it's like I want to wear the sunglasses to the shoulder. Like, maybe don't want you scared you're gonna balang. Like, yo, I can just walk straight, like now, no. Imagine I had sunglasses on the jaw. Like,
So
ooh,
with
man.
no alcohol in the jaw and you're wearing sunglasses, you're gonna take the sin.
Do you know who's to blame for this, right?
Who?
There has to be like Stevie Wonder or some shit. You know. That guy look quiet.
Yeah.
That guy look quiet. It's like, you know, I'm gonna
He was too cool.
I'm gonna start wearing sunglasses to the motherfucking jaw too.
I don't like lasers in my eyes. Yeah, how was your week?
Just the week was the week. It is the week before payday, and now I had to get some groceries in the fridge and stuff. I don't know what to buy here, but I just had a stock standard normal working week. I think we all know that.
The week before payday is tough times never last. Only tough people.
But before we go any further, first I want to say thank you again to our producer who does all our post editing, Finn, or produced by Finn on all socials. Such a lekker man, and he also has a new song out. Must check that out.
He has quite a lot of bangers, guys.
Yeah, he
like if
does.
you want to fill up your summer playlist, go find Finn.
Oh, yeah. And a lekker man as well. He's not so lekker playing games, but I'm not going to talk about that here.
We're gonna get into that also, games. One day we're gonna have an episode of TV games. We've all dealt with TV games.
But the reason we're here this week is talking about particularly around cars, but more importantly, our journeys we had through cars, basically, right, Yasin?
Whether your first car, whether it was a hand-me-down or if it was your new one they got you, and your license that came around your first car.
Yeah.
That's I think also the license you must get from your parents when you get your first car is another set of license that you must perform.
Definitely. Like, honestly, getting that in the beginning, that privilege and stuff to take the car and stuff, but also them popping and stuff.
Yo.
Because I got like to a school because my daddy said, "What the fuck am I teaching us like that to drive?" You know what I mean? I don't have the patience for this.
My dad took me on one driving lesson and then he was like, "I'm not a teacher." And then he got me, I went with my cousin the first time. My cousin is a driving instructor and then I was like, "Oh shit, this is how you actually drive." Did you steal car?
I start my dog with car sometimes here and there, but I mean, not more than the average person. I'm thinking, like sometimes you just want to go book. It's not for any other like no other reason to drink and drive. Just to go find a vrystuk and a fucking broekskoot or something, you know. And you need to make a way. But I mean, I've used all forms of transport to go Cyber and to go have a broekskoot there. I use a train. I use a taxi.
You use a train to go book.
I mean, everybody must travel. What the fuck? We didn't.
Okay, I did take taxi.
We had largely for a long time a one-car household.
That's also true. Then you must fight for time and you must cook free by your parents basically, just so you can get.
Can we go now? We have to go now. The thing is starting. Yes, I'm just trying to finish this thing. Or they late from work and you wanna go somewhere. And you said you're gonna be home, but you said like you kicking them out like the roles are reversed here now.
And then when did you get your license?
I got my license first try when I was 18.
First try.
Yo, but no, Kakna, it was a tough experience. I remember my foot was beavering in the car. It's just like shaking me, bro. Like you know, like, I was so nervous. And then even on the day I had another lesson, and the instructor was like, "You're fine, man. You're gonna do it." And I got the maximum points in the year, 40.
Jits.
So no, the maximum meaning one more point out of fail.
Oh, the opposite of jits.
I did the stuff through and through, no, but just in that environment, it's like almost like an interview to see if you can drive now and stuff. It's just I was nervous as fuck.
Yeah, I think that's like that's the one test that it's okay to fail. Like there's only like a handful of people I know got their license on the first time.
I know a girl who has a massive record, but we'll talk about that during the show.
So let's introduce our guest today. So firstly we have Dalen Oliver.
And we also have Mr. Renshaw Benjamin, homie from Heathfield. And he's also going to be telling us about his car and all the...
Renshaw?
Yes.
So are we going with Renshaw or are we going with Tab?
I'm just going to give him his named name by his parents first, and then we can just refer to him as Tab going forward.
Okay. So Renshaw is Tab, by the way.
Very funny. His daddy told him because he used to have spikes now. Like... He doesn't have, how can I say, like, he didn't have normal spikes, so he made spikes. So he made his hair, like, straight in the front, so he had 3 horns in the front of his face. And so his top is so Dub from Tube on TV. And he said, "You almost look like this thing." And then that name stuck, so till today, he's called Dub. Not because it's a dub to win or anything, he's called Dub from Tube. Yeah.
Wait, take your sunglasses off, man. It's distracting to look at someone wearing sunglasses, and I must take you serious also. No, so then that's actually thank you for that. I thought you were first outing him on his story because I was like, this sounds like a personal story with a bra.
Nah.
But now we know why Dub is called Dub. And so Dalen Oliver, comedian and friend of mine. Then we also have Fatima Zahra Ahmed, also a friend of mine, and she's also a writer and a blogger, and she does takutas on the internet, writing things. And then we have Nicholas Goliath,
who's been here before.
Yeah,
very funny comedian.
A friend of the podcast.
Yeah,
friend of pod. Is that the thing we must do? Fops.
He's a man who went to the matric ball. Yeah, but he didn't drink. No, he went to all his brassen after the after bar.
And they witnessed an accident, and then they drove away. One of the brassen. So we asked Dalen.
So we asked everybody like a lot of questions and stuff, but we started off with, when did you start driving and when did you first get your license? Also, you guys at home, let us also know your stories, please.
I started driving at the age of 18, legally, and I got my drivers at 18 as well. I was very lucky. So I was driving in matric. Yeah, look at that, eh? My mom and them let me drive the car when I was a learner, so 17, but never on my own. You know, they were boring, man. They wanted to be legal. What's the word, right? What's the right word? They wanted to be legally abiding citizens. So I had to wait until I turned 18, but then it was quiet.
Yeah.
I was also like a legal lighter. I don't think I had my learners in matric. I got my learners. And then I could only drive with my mom. My dad didn't. My dad had no patience for me. I don't think there's a lot of fathers who allow they to like be in the passenger seat while they little like drive.
They're nervous, man, bro. You ever lament to them and you see their left leg pushing brakes and kak as the kak funniest thing. Like I would just drive past sometimes and then just see my mom. Hey,
what's your car?
Were you gangs? They say yes. What's the car? You're too close to this one. I'm like,
put your indicator on. Put your indicator on. Let him see you. Let him see that you're trying to turn, and then he'll give you the way. They always come with a stress. And then here's Dub.
I started driving. I only started driving when I was 17. Once I got my learners, I was a good kid, man. I didn't steal my parents' car or anything. I wanted to do it the legal way. But yeah, the license. I got that immediately as soon as I turned 18, probably like a month afterwards, I think. Only because my dad told me, he's not the fuck driving me around really. And I'm an adult. So he forced me to go do my license immediately. And yeah, I think I passed first time, surprisingly. one of the few things I think I passed the first time. But yeah, I was 18 when I got my license.
To reiterate, he was 18 when he got his license. Yeah, we used to skit, me and him, obviously. We still skit now, yeah, and there. So friends from the Heathfield af. And basically, I got my license first at the bus. So my daddy let me use his like an old bakkie.
Lekker.
But the bakkie was fatal at me, bro. I'm just going to talk about it again. But then we used to lie the bakkie full mattress at the back because he used to also use it for work. So before we could even use the bakkie,
You have to clean it out.
Nah, yeah, but we must take out all the grinders, all the welding machine, the fucking organ tanks, alles, me, bro. You obviously
If
have
you
pipe
guys want,
fitter.
if
so
you want to see the contents of the Bucky, you can see it in the Yatnumas Dance
Yeah.
Academy.
Oh my dad is
We are
tools and
using
stuff.
all of it in that video.
So like all the fucking stuff was in the back, so we must get ready now. Now we're waiting for him so we can do the turnover, bro. And then the next morning come around, me pulling in, and then the back is so warm, the engine, it didn't have a rest, me, bro. Because we went out there obviously that night as well. But it's also very, very cocky responsible just to say this because if that's your parents' how can I say the means to
Yo,
working and
that's actually-
earning money, and you fuck it up then, my bro.
That's actually a very good point. I never thought of that. Like,
We don't think about that then. All we want to do is get to be very
yeah.
selfish.
So I'm trying to think. We had one brother that got the car in school. Like I think he was like 16 when he used to drive, but he only used to drive like in the area. And that was always like a bonus because I know I don't need to ask my father this time. So when it really counts, when I phone him and I go, yo, I need a lift, then I know my dad will be like, yeah, it's fine. Like he'll fetch us because we have a brother that can actually drive. But my dad used to fetch us everywhere.
Did your parents let your friend with a license drive the car and you must sit with him in your car?
No,
Okay.
my dad never gave up his car for any other, only for me.
Okay.
I started driving when I was 18. I wasn't even allowed to like practice driving in a parking lot until I got my learners. So I got my learners also when I was 18. And then I got my license like a month before my 19th birthday. And I failed the first time actually because my car got stuck on an incline in the yard, and then I rolled when I tried to get the brake unstuck. But I got it the second time, like a few days later.
Nah, that's exactly where my leg was beavering because I had clutch up now, but I was passing out in the stairs. And then I'm in first, and I'm trying to obviously now, get the right momentum so you don't fucking roll essentially. But that's so high that clutch was for that thing that I was like popping and I'm just fucking sweating and oh my god. But as soon as I said I paused, I was like, here's a load with safe. Not 7 drive, but maybe we did 7 drive. But that was back then.
We are responsible adults now. But my first time I failed. I went to Star, what's it?
Hillsong.
Hillstar.
Hillstar.
I went to Hillsong to go pass out, guys. I went to Hillstar in Atri.
That's I was about to say.
And then I just made it out of the yard also. But I failed now, and in retrospect I go, I wasn't ready.
Why did you fail?
In the road, something I did, I think I turned recklessly and then they were like, yo, go back. But in the yard, I was like, I got this thing, I was nervous, but I wasn't a good driver. So in retrospect, I go, I deserve not. It's good. I think it's a one test where you
I
go.
remember the instructor one time, he hit my leg, he said, stop riding in the fucking clutch. I'm like, oh.
It was fraying your leg, yeah.
Because I was sitting, go.
No, but I was so that thing of the incline. The incline was actually the thing that made me pop the most. That and the 3-point turn. I don't know why I popped for a 3-point turn or so.
It was very easy. I think that was very easy to do.
But my second time when I paused, it was fine. But the first time,
So when I got my license and when did I start? I started driving the first time I was 16, I think. I stole the car. I was never taught how to drive. I used to watch my father driving, and because I was always interested in driving, I kind of learned how to drive from watching. And then I stole the car and went to school with it. And I got caught by my father because conveniently, when he had last parked the car, the speedo was on like 999, like the speedometer was on like 999. And then when he came home the next day, after I'd gone driving around, it was on the following number, but 23. So I even know that the first time I went driving on my own without permission when I was 16, I drove 24 kilometers in that day.
That's a lot. Well
That
done
was
to
the
him.
first
I
time
don't know, actually
I
not well done.
drove, or when I started driving. But I only got to drive again after that when I had my learners, because my parents were very strict like that. And then, because they were so strict, I also got my license as soon as I turned 18. First time for my learners, first time for my license, because I was boss. So, yes.
Yes.
I feel like I only know a handful of people that passed on the first time, and they are all now on this podcast.
Do you ever remember that graduation from your parents, like not wanting you to drive to go to your auntie and take this there, and then also you need to go fetch something by the other place there now? Like, that fucked me up. Because you know what is the worst thing is that my daddy must have a bakkie. And now people like to move kak. And then my mommy will offer my services like by the church, not for the church, but by the church friends and stuff. And then also my aunties and then always me like, oh, just come over, we need you to come and take this cupboard. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, no, because I'm never getting a bakkie, and I don't know if I'll ever get the bakkie because my bakkie, my bro, as just it is because I grand camping there and I love a camp, but my bro, with the back in the men's world. There's always someone in trouble. There's always someone in need of a fucking bed or some kind. Don't do it.
It must move from they don't want you to drive. Then it moves to you being eager to like, I have a license. Do they need anything? Must I go anywhere for you? Can I go to the shop? Come, I do the shopping for you.
I just want to drive right now.
Yeah, let me drive. Then you're taking the long route home because you're like, I got my own CD, I got my own music. It's going to rock in the car now. And then it gets to a point where they just, nice, Simon will do it. No, Yasin, just go fit your auntie there.
There's also this liquor ways of cursing your parents, and then my daddy was looking at front loaders. I'm like, you should get the empathy one because then I can put like the Eagles and all the jazz and stuff on it for you. Then I used to like do that, but then I work in my favor at the same time because then I put my enormous in on a USB as well.
Also, when
the
you
front loader face, like it is in the 1300 bakkie, and it's a rusted, me bro. When you park, the water is coming through. I think, but you know what? Salute, we love.
It was still in the time where the face of the radio could come off.
Yeah.
But before that, the whole radio used to come out.
The CD shuttle was also a fucked thing. Like I remember this one brother I met. He had a Jetta with like a V6, a red V6 Jetta now, but with a what's it called? The thing at the back called again?
The
CD shuffle.
Yeah.
When you put all the CDs in there.
10 CDs in.
And that was like obviously the first iPod. I don't know what the fuck to call it.
That was like, you know, that Moose radio that the men have in the lounge with the 5 levels of radio. Now that thing had 3 CDs that could rotate.
Remember that?
Yo. We never knew what the buttons were. We just like that. There was a tray in that big hi-fi. And we never knew what the fuck was clapping there. You know that they had the to change the sound levels and shit, but no one did that.
We never had system in our house. It's so weird.
Like one like that. Did you guys have one like
never,
that? So
never,
Conita, my older sister, she started working. Then that was her thing. She was like, I'm gonna buy a sound system. It wasn't like amazing, but it was quite. It was a Technics.
Remember, it used to look so sleek and stuff. The Technics one,
yeah,
so professional. Then it became monstrous machines that just lamming people's things.
Also, it looked like 5 separate pieces, but it was one thing. The whole hi-fi was one thing, just in 5 stickies. And yeah, those were prized positions in the house. The first 3 CDs at the same time, like a shuffle. Then we got to the second question. What was that?
The second question was, who of your friends got the car first? Like, who got their license first? And stuff like that.
So we asked Dalen.
I was the first one to have my license out of my chummies. We were, they used to call me the 1x6 because I had 6 brass in the street that I always used to skate with. So we all used to fit into the Mazda 323. That was my first car. Well, not even my first car. It was the family car that I would drive. My sisters both drove the Mazda, and I drove the Mazda. And like we always tried to get my daddy to sell it. He's like, bro, buy a car that works better or that looks better. He's like, no, bro, this drives perfectly fine. So I was the first one to drive out of my brasa and the first one to turn 18. So during our early student days, I was always the one that was busy driving, designated driver. Came with stress and responsibilities. I think the Mazda seated 12 at one stage.
Yeah.
It's also the thing of when it's the hand-me-down. Then I'm pretty sure fathers know. This one, there isn't a car after this. You guys must go. We're buying a new car after this. This one must get vertalen. So
What
I think
was it? What did you have?
so my when it was my older sister, when it was Cornita's time when she got, then we were a single car household. Then by the time it was me, 4 children down, we had 2 cars because my mom was always on the move. Then like for work with this. Then so by that time I got my mom's car. So my mom would drive in the day. Then at night it was my car.
Okay.
It was liquor. We had a Honda Pollard.
Oh, liquor.
But like
So you felt like you could show off, but it's still your mommy's car.
yeah. But it wasn't even like the liquor like gesakte Pollard. It was
the
like
150i Ballard.
the automatic.
Silver.
Nah, a red one.
Oh,
but the
okay.
but the foul red. You know when the red on a car fade, especially those 1980s car models, and it always faded in patches. Like it looked like it had eczema on the one side, and the other side just got maroon at one point. But yeah, the car did the job, and I'm very grateful that it was
That's
around. Then we asked Dub.
My friends got their cars first. Well, it was actually Simon, if I remember correctly. And then I think I got mine second out of our group of friends. But yeah, we always forced Simon to drive because when we were much younger, because he had access to his dad's work pakkies, and those came with a petrol card. So wherever we wanted to go, we needed to take the petrol card from Bert and then fill up. Off to the party we go, and it was a bakkie. So we were a big group of friends. So say all the brassa, jump at the back, pick them all up, rock up at the party, all jump out, boom, and we've arrived. The usual clowns. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was the first of the brassa to get car and license. So my Toby obviously had the bakkie Bert, Robert Woodsell. And so like he had a second bakkie at that point. It was before, obviously, like after the learners normal and stuff. So then basically, I used to get the petrol card, and then the bartering comes in that you're gonna go work tomorrow, so the bakkie might as well be full for when you drive on the road because he's gonna have to fill it up anyways. And so then obviously we didn't have money. Our money at the time was used for saving. So we used to get in the bakkie, come straight to Morgan Smoky, or we go to like a Ike or Che or something, whichever direction we're going in. And then we go get the beer, we get our connoisseur, we get our vodka, and bro, if there's Bertrams at the time, I think actually we should don't drink Bertrams. Please don't drink Bertrams. It's too tough on the system. I can't even look at it now and I get fucking flashbacks, man, bro. But then yeah, we used to lie full, put like a mattress, you know, that mattress that everybody had with that fucking pattern on it.
The brown with the yellow flowers and the orange flowers.
At the back there. And then, my bro, then it's just lie full, all the girls, all the brassa, and we stick it at GB or Steamer or at the parties in Alphendale or Heathfield or if wherever we used to be going. And then we used to come through there, like, yeah, vol vraag, as they say, getuie.
Then we asked FZ.
The first one of my friends to get a car was my friend Nuruddin at school. He turned 18 in like the December before matric, so he could start driving it for the whole of matric year. But he had a bakkie, and he would come to school in his bakkie, but we couldn't really like go anywhere with him because he didn't have a top on his bakkie, so he could only fit 3 people inside of his car.
That's lazy because you can lamb there at the back.
Uneconomical.
Unless it's raining, we give it that. But nah.
Even in the rain.
Even see that man, that's just a lambing on top of the back. You just standing like
Titanicking the whole trip.
I'm just bound they're gonna get clotheslined by something, you know. It's my thing.
Why? Oh, one of my favorite memories is going to the beach, then having my brother go somewhere, some emergency happened, then he left. Then I saw someone at the beach. I was like, I know these people. Then I just walked up. I was like, hey guys, how are you getting home? Then they were like, nah, come with us. Then, but they were all afraid. So I was like, okay.
Then they murdered you.
I hope so. Then, so then I thought there were a lot of people. So I was like, okay, there must be a few cars. Turns out they were all in a bakkie. Then I was the brother that had to lie across brassa. Like they all had their designated space in the bakkie. I was like, this is awkward. They're like, nah, Yasin, just lie across. So from Clifton to, I think it was about Tiller Islands, which is about a 20-minute drive.
But you got home.
I got home safe. And then also my Yo, I also made the mistake of the back of the bakkie. I took something out of my pocket. Not to forget that there was a lot of air moving at the back of the bakkie, and I just saw all my money out of my pocket fly. We were on the highway, and I just saw like notes flying, and I was like, now I'm the bride that love to live with fuck all money also. And I don't know if I had a phone. I don't think I had a phone on me that day. Then I was just like the awkward friend of a friend that was with people that were having fun.
Oh, and then say, look, he didn't actually have money. He's just adding that to the story to add
My
something.
money fell
for
out,
him.
guys.
He didn't
Proper.
have money that day at all.
I had like a 10 rand still on me. I felt so junk. Anyway, here's Nicholas.
My friend with the car first was actually my cousin. It was Kate. Kate got the car first, so we used to roll with her. And it was cool for me because Kate really couldn't drive very well back then. So I often ended up driving with her, which was cool because I like driving and I also like being safe. And I felt a lot safer when I was driving.
Who was it? I can't remember her name now. Anyway, she got the license before me, and I was freak upset because when I drove with her, I was like, she's not a good driver. Like I don't know if have you had a friend and you go, why did you get your license? It's unsafe. Anybody that's with you is unsafe, and I don't trust you.
Like ever since I was in a car accident one time, I get freaked out by other people driving who don't drive like a liquor place that I'm liquor with, because if I'm driving I feel fine, but when other men is driving and driving fast, I must get like a fucking post. That post-traumatic stress.
PTSD. But also that means these people that just turn wild.
Yeah.
You normally must go to second, calm down the car at least. Just mooring the fucking steering wheel. Everybody going across the damn car. My words are slurring me today. Then what is the third question we went to?
Oh wait, but just on my first friend to get license was obviously Dub, because it would be the opposite, because out of our friend group. But then came the innovation of the fact that I can't fucking drive all the time because I'm supposed to be right to drive. It's someone else's turn to drive as well, so that I can have a fuck the time too.
Yes.
And then it became of turns. So then he got his two-piece car, which I'm sure we're gonna hear about now. I'm not gonna mention it because it is one of those iconic South African cars that fuck, there's nothing for it. There's actually the one that DJ Clive drives, but I'm sure he's about to talk about his first car now. And
wait, I must still tell you about how I got my license. So I failed the first time, right? So the second time, I was looking for appointments, and that time you had to wait like 3 or 4 months before you could get your next appointment, right? Because all the places were full. Anyway, so then I phoned around and I phoned Green.
Some people used to sum book in case they fail.
Yeah.
And then just let the money suck.
I don't know. I believed in myself. So I saw those people.
I couldn't you.
What?
For believing in yourself.
Thank you. You also know those people that drove to Paul and drove to other cities to go get their license.
Like there's people who went to where was it, like Malmesbury, right?
Yeah.
And then they said, now the hill, there's all this folklore about it, that it's just like a small bumpy. They don't have to even worry about it. And they go and they use an extradition to go to another place to go fucking do this shit.
Then it's a thing of, there's only one robot in the whole town, so it's safe. You're not going to get into cuck. Yeah. So then I phoned Greenpoint. Then I was like, yo, what's your closest date? So in my mind, I go, yo, I phoned Greenpoint. I'm speaking to the officer here. It's fine. The man goes, yo, the next date is in a week's time, but you must come in to fill it in. So I'm like, look here, I'm busy right now with exams. I can't come through. The man goes, okay, where do you stay? I'm going to come to you. I'll bring the book and we can do this stuff. So I was like, all right, send the man the address, whatever. The man comes to my house the next day, right, with the book, official book with a badge and alles. Give the man the money. The next week I go through to Greenpoint. They're like, yo, there's no date here. Then I was like, now where's this man? Here's his badge number, whatever. He's not in today. Now I'm like, did I just get boofed by a cop? Like, did someone come to my house that is a policeman and rob me? Then it didn't make sense. Then I saw the people, like they went to go speak to the manager and whatever. And the man was like, yo, this man has a record of this thing. He goes to people's houses and he takes their money. Then I'm like, how does he still have a job if he has a record of this thing?
And so?
And then they were like, come back tomorrow. We'll give you a date. Not the date. They'll let me pass out. So then at the time I was driving my sister's car. So I drove myself to get my license, which is illegal, and because I only had a learner's technically.
Well, if you're going with a licensed driver, it's fine.
There wasn't a licensed driver with me.
Oh my boy.
So I was just driving like the last couple of weeks before I got my license, just driving on my ace. Then, so I got there.
Don't make me feel bad. My cousin got us only at like 35
Just-
after years of driving no license.
Now I only like drove, I'll say illegally for like a few weeks. Anyway, so I get to the place and I see the lady that's gonna take me, and as she's walking, the manager calls her into the room. They come out laughing. Now I'm just like, what's happening here? They greet me, both of them greet me, talking nicely. Go to the yard. She gets out of the car. She can't even see me. She's sitting talking on the phone. She's like, okay, go to this one. Okay, go to this one. I think they also just let me go because they didn't want too much scandal with that bra that stole the money. And then I had to go as a witness to...
Maybe they all met and they pressed the secret button and they went into the circle and they were like, he could expose us all. Just give him his fucking license.
Just give it. Then also I was speeding. I went in a 60 zone. I was going like 90. Then she's like, yo, just slow down. It's a camera coming up. Didn't mark me for anything. I didn't even check
Why the fuck are you driving so fast? I'm sorry.
It was, no, so in Greenpoint, they must take you on the highway, man. And it's the highway that goes past the stadium.
Yeah, but isn't it like only 80?
No, it's like a 60 zone.
Okay.
Or like a 80 zone. Then I was going 90, yeah. And then she told me, just, slow down. You can fail if you go too fast. I was like, okay, sorry. And then she, like, as we were driving...
That's why you failed the first time.
No, so the first time I was nervous. The second time I could drive. I was, like, comfortable. Anyway, then I got back. They all laughed and they were like, oh, you passed. So I was like, did I pass or did they give it to me?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember all that law around it? I remember my daddy had this welder who was working with him, Farid. And now Farid was 50 odd, but he had to get his license because they now were going to drive another company's bakkies, so they subcontract for, so he had to get his license. So he said, yeah, fuck, I'm going to pass out. And I'm living in the car there. I'm driving normally, like I'm going to go buy me a pack of chops at the shop. And he lit the air and he told the driver, like, okay, I've been driving for fucking so many years right now that there's no point in me even doing this now. I got my license, as you can see, I can drive. And he said, and after that, we gave him his license. So it's fine. And I'm like, yo, that's what you need. Confidence.
It's the confidence of an uncle that will just vase you.
And did you ever hear the other one of like, take crayfish with you? That is a fucking big one.
I heard the stories.
You go into it now, you take the crayfish from behind the seat, you put it on the dash, and you'll take it, and then the thing is done. you're like, hey, bro, should I take the crayfish out of the freezer for the mommy ass for Christmas? And put it on it. It's like, just everybody's coming with this fucking mad stories. People, yeah. I'm gonna skid with crayfish. Oh,
why does your car smell like this?
You probably know the smell. There's a bag of crayfish on the back seat. What the fuck? How do you do it?
It's biryani in the backseat if you're interested. What's for lunch?
I remember that was such a big one that everybody used to face. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, no. You must somehow bribe the people with food. What was the third question? Yeah.
Yeah. It is the time for the 30. What was your first car, and did it have a name?
So this is where is it? Dalen.
So the Mazda's nickname was the Mazdado. We just called it the Mazdado. Either that or now that's a sound. I know it's not a nickname, but we could hear the car from far, man. It had a very distinctive sound. So each time the car would drive, you just hear. So it was that or the Mazdado. I don't know why Mazdado. I mean, I just went off from Mazda. I don't even know what language it is. It's got some Latin American flair. But yeah, funniest thing about the Mazda was cheese, man. It's always going up Hospital Bend. Yo, guys, have you ever pulled up Hospital Bend in a 1.3 to 3 with 5 people on the back seat, and you're going, I don't know if this car's gonna make it up this thing. In third gear, it's busy shouting. Then you go into second gear and you go, Uyana Muni Afsuchi.
Yeah. Like the thing about the Mazda 323, it's the exact same engine that I had in the backy, which was the 1300 Drifter Ford backy. And lying that thing full and going through to town to go to like the Lux or wherever we were going then, man, bro, it was not easy coming out Hostel Bend, man, bro. And we're struggling with fucking, like a pakje full of mensen. Tough.
Your first car, I feel like it brings you closer to God. Because you start praying, because you know already, okay, I must hit it at this speed, because if I go up the hill, it must be carry. And then when you get 3/4 up the hill, you're just like, please, just this one. Just get me through this one. I'm gonna take the other route home. Please, just through this one. Then the orange light sticks on the petrol. Then you're just like, now, but you had a petrol car, so you don't know. You don't know about red lights and orange lights.
Nah, there was times when you said no. But most of the time it was fine because there's always gonna be petrol in the car anyways, which is a good saving point for us. It's very, very fortunate.
And for me, I always used to tell the
I didn't want people to give me money because the more money for Zappa and for dope that we had, the fucking better.
I used to tell the brother, you must give petrol money. If we're rolling, everybody's rolling. Here is Dub.
My first car, that would be a Ford Escort, the XR3, a two-door one with a sunroof and stuff. But the sunroof never ever worked when I had it. I don't even think the system in that car worked when I had it. I remember that car consumed a lot of oil, made a lot of smoke. Sometimes the smoke even came in the car. But that was a fun car to drive, especially when you were a student that time. As you know, everyone knows, Ford is Lord. But did it have a name? It didn't really have a name. I know my one friend, Matthew, called it the Fury. I think that was some special edition of Ford Escorts that came out at that time. I was sad to let that car go. I didn't have space to keep it. Because I think it became a bit of a collector's item now. I still see some on the road these days and people still modifying them and so on. But enjoyed that car a lot, eh?
His daddy actually got that car when it first came out, and obviously it's like one of the first sport cars, like a two-door XR3, and obviously the little brother of the XR6, which is obviously one of the most iconic cars, and even like the Interceptor Cortina Bucky, which was obviously right up there as well. Remember, like there's legends and this that, and the thing about that car as well, the people took it and they bought it from him, and obviously he got a new car because that car is just not reliable anymore. But they made it perfect, maybe. You see it again later on. The man did a chest job and then it looks aster, and his Toby obviously got it back then. So
that's mooi.
His daddy drove it on the track at Killarney and when it came out because it was warm back then.
But that car they also used to smite, isn't it? Like for donuts and goodies.
The XR3?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen a lot of them do that shit.
So I think I was at one. I didn't normally go to these scooters, but I saw one. The car looked perfect. But then I saw them make donuts and I was like, okay, this thing can slide.
But a small gat. That's why.
Then my first car was I don't know what year it was. It was a Dolphin metallic grey Toyota. The Corolla. I love that car so much. It was it was automatic because my mom always had automatic cars. So then I would have automatic so that because I got the car from my parents, but basically I would share it with my dad. But it would be my car predominantly. So kind of never had a first car. So. Shame.
Hayden, he had a red Golf, but it was like a Mark 1, but it was just fatale, the one, but it looked so fucked up, but it was red everywhere. And we used to come down the road and look like a red Vienna. So we aptly called it the Tarora. And we said, "Where's the Tarora, my bro?" And we used to scuttle that car, and you always felt like the car was about to lose a tire or something. But it was fatale.
Yes, FZ.
I'm actually still driving my first car. I got a Hyundai i10 for my birthday, and I named it Pablo after the Radiohead album Pablo Honey. It's a freak white car though. Like I have Bluetooth, and I can do like a Bluetooth phone call, and I have 3 cup holders. Like it's the perfect car for me, and it's so tiny I can park anywhere I want to.
You know, in this economy, I
hate that cars when you come to the parking bay and you see them lambing there in the front of it. Like, I mean, bro, I saw that there's no gat there.
When you drive, you get excited because you see the gap between the other 2 cars and you drive close and you go, couldn't you just pull forward?
Even when the mains for the motorbikes.
Your motorbikes must park either in front but not in the base, please, Kanala.
I was going to say, Also, what's on Thailand's nicknames for the cars? And for international listeners, please explain to your foreign compatriots right now what is a Maserati. Because everyone said a Maserati. A Ferrari gebas with a Mazda.
It's a Mazda that's been gemot to grown to. Here we have Nicholas.
My first car, it was an Opel Kadett. It was really old, like really old. The passenger door still had one of those immobilizer locks, so you couldn't unlock the passenger door. And then the driver's door had no lock because the car somebody tried to steal it and then they broke the lock, so there was no lock. So then that meant that I had to get in through the boot, which was not cool. I used to call it Sumizi. No, I'm joking. I didn't have a name for it. And Sumizi wasn't famous back then. So, yeah. Don't use this.
It is that is in now. But that's the other thing also with your first car. There's like goedetjies that you must do. Like there's a ritual for you to do things in the car.
They said, man, like with the petrol, like, come on. I know my car. We still got 20 Ks.
So the Toyota that we had used to call it a love boat because the shocks was messed up. So if you go over a speed bump, then the car would just like wave until the next speed bump. It's like, nah, it's the love boat is coming through. Then the exhaust, there was a cut in the exhaust pipe that I never fixed. Then it also just used to make a frag noise. Just like Dylan's car also, you were saying that just throughout the thing. Then the problem was that the brusser, the cool brusser that had that car, it was always like, their cars always require, so now if I pull up next to at the robot, then they're revving. Now I was like, guys, it's automatic. I was putting neutral rev and then move it around. Yeah, they were too cool for me, really.
My friend Chad, I remember his first car. It was like, I think it was like an old Sentra, but it was fatal. I remember, like, I remember one time we all had to be dropped at down, stopping us down. But the car can't stop because if the car stopped, then it can't start. So you must start like jogging with the car slowly, and then that's how you leave. So you still kind of jogging as the car leaves you. And then maybe I've seen many men so obviously fall them in the jobs, scraping them and kijk at like 2 o'clock in the morning. But I never bet.
It's like Flintstones.
It's pretty funny. You have to start. The car must slow down like the lick of 1 or 3 or something, and then you must get out. And the thing is that it's most surprising is you see you have chilly legs because you get soap, but then also besides the fact that now you must start running at this time in the morning. And what the fuck am I doing?
I remember also he had a ballad, but you know that wide ballads that the proper ones the brusser used to like do up and stuff.
Yeah, the slant.
Yeah, the proper Then he also. So his neighbors would complain that his car is too loud. So then he'd have to drive fast into their road, then put the car off and let it roll all the way to his house. And then if it doesn't get to the house, then he must get up and push his car to his house because his father was like, if you upset the neighbors, I'm taking your car off. Shame.
But also like during that time, I had a lot of brushes. Do you remember like Speed and Sound magazine? And we didn't consume, how can I say, content like we do on the internet now. We had physical magazines we had to buy and stuff. You go lamb at the bar, but you're reading a Speed and Sound or some kind. But then we used to have like FHM pictures on our wall and like cars from the UK car magazines, you know what I mean?
It's always cool.
And I used to have brushes who were like tuck into cars, and then basically they have chassis systems and stuff, you know. That used to be liquid to be in the back of a car. Like you feel so much like you're part of a vibe. Like obviously you get out there and everyone's looking at you, and like, you know, those cars that when they drive past your house and you just hear all your windows is just going like in your house, and like they just in a car in the road. Like surely you can't be enjoying this right now. You just want to be more.
Can you even hear the song when it's moving like that?
Have you ever met a man, like I remember that I think I was used to do it, to be honest. A new song come on the radio now or something come out and you get it onto your thing, but then now you're driving around and you just restart the song as you're coming past me and stuff because you want them to hear that you have the song.
So I loved close to Garnell High. Then the taxis used to stick out there. So then we probably like 4 or 5 roads away from the school. The windows in our house would shake from their base. Like the toilet water would shake from their base. And it always used to blow my mind.
The Rockford baskets and the IMPPs.
Then these are the youth that's in the taxi. How are they? Their hearing is gonna be messed up by the time.
That's why I think I can't hear anything, because we used to was obviously boosted, and as you spoke about in the clubbing episodes, and we used to get like the master sounds taxis, and we used to just be going, man, bro. Like honestly, like for my people moving there, man, bro. Yeah.
My favorite was a brasser that had a sound system, but they didn't tighten the doors and the other things. Now you're just hearing a rattling that's happening right through the street. It sounds like a bag of change. Then what is the next question?
The next question was, what's your best memory of first cars?
Best memory of my first car? Yo, there were so many. I think one of the fun moments was we went to Club Mykonos. The boot was full, and we were six in a car to Club Mykonos in that Mazda. Guys, living our best life. It was so lekker, and that was my day one brasso I went with. And the car drove more than 140. I drove 140. The whole car was shaking, and I can't believe we made it there safely in terms of nothing happened on the road, and the car didn't fall apart. Because it drove well, don't get me wrong, it drove well, it had a bit of rust, but it drove well. And it leaked here and there, but it drove well. So yeah, that Mykonos trip was was like the mere fact that we put everything into the car. Even to cricket games sometimes, I drive to cricket because I play club cricket. And then you just have like 4 brassen in the car with cricket bags and cooler bags. And you know how big cooler bags and cricket bags are, but we made it work. The Mazda was a bakkie. Essentially, it was a van, you know, it was actually a bus. It was a My City, a Golden Arrow.
Tetris. The skill
140. He's lying. He's lying.
It was
that thing
downhill.
would have been shaking on the fucking. What's it going towards? Mykonos at long road.
But it was probably downhill going 140 also. We all know it's very rare that first cars can. It's very rare that first cars can go to 140. Even if you have a newish car, like you've said.
If you just heard that sound, it was just me moving the arm of this mic. Sorry for that abrupt sound.
But also, sorry, the skill set that we learned in Tetris, I feel like we took it for granted. That's the thing you learn every time you get prasa. It's like, no, okay, so you smaller, you go in at the end, you must sit on top. No, the bag must go on top. Then you also when you're packing bags, Tetris comes through, guys. Our parents lie that TV games was horrible. And you?
With best memories?
Yeah.
I honestly going camping, Palmeet, Soetwater, Berg River, just like packing the bucket.
And you driving?
Full. Yeah. And just going through and having the tent in there and just getting there and having that whole vibe. But it's like, obviously there's many stories you can talk about with sleeping and going absolute tequila in the bucket, like just like sleeping over in the back of it and stuff, and going to festivals when we used to go to the parties and stuff. Like maybe but the bucket sorted us out so many times and did us good so much times, but maybe it's such a fast thing because you always want to have like a new car and stuff like that, no? But that first car is something else.
I also feel like getting a new car is nice, but there's other lessons that come with getting a car. Like you almost learn like patience with yourself because you're like, yeah, I can't do everything this weekend. I must pace it over the whole. I got time. Then we asked Dub.
What was your favorite memory of your first car? I don't think I have one in particular. There were a lot of funny events that happened when I had that first car. I remember one night it was Galaxy Thursday nights. So the jewelers finished. Everyone was finding a lift home. So I was driving that night. And I think Simon was passenger seat. And the two Laos were always arguing with each other. They were sitting at the back. But now there's a 2-door, remember? So they can't get out of it. It's difficult for them to get out. And they start arguing at the back. I think we all had one too many drinks. So they start arguing there. And eventually I'm driving. We're coming down that road in fairways there with all the speed bumps. I think it's Panton Road. And then these two start these squirts flying there at the back. They start hitting each other. Eventually I need to stop the car because these two are going crazy at the back and they can't get out. So Simon and I jump out and we're just standing there on the pavement watching these two struggling to get out of this car because they're busy trying to hit each other and they're trying to climb out at the same time. Eventually some lady comes to her front door and screams, what the fuck are you doing? Get away here. Go home. And Simon and I was standing on the side laughing. Eventually, we just told him to shut the fuck up. And then we climbed the car. Off we went. Dropped him at home. Yeah, another occasion, I think I was coming home alone. I don't know where I was coming from, but it was raining that night. So I'm coming down the Wall Road in Southfield. I remember at the time they were retarring the road, so it was actually just gravel, but there was no one else on the road, and it was raining earlier, so there was a few mud patches and so on. So I thought, you know what, fuck this, there's a Ford. So did a few burnouts there, and some sliding occurred there on the gravel. Eventually I come home, go to sleep. So it was a blue Ford. So my dad woke up first though, and he came out and he looked at the car, and then I didn't even see it when I parked the car. The whole sides of the car was all full of gravel, you know, the mud that shot up from whatever I was doing. I just remember him waking me up and saying, "What the fuck did you do to your car?" So I explained, I thought I was driving through gravel to the mud puddles. He told me, "Who the fuck do you think you are? Colin McRae?"
Mr. Benjamin. Sure, I remember that night. I was actually not on the passenger side. I was in the middle of them, and then other brothers sitting in the front. So they start swearing at my car. The time is 8, and I think it's all over like a 10 rand or something. It was something
funny.
stupid, and they start hitting my car, and I was just laughing. They're like, "What are you fucking doing, me, bro?" Plus, we don't fight. We're not even that man that fight. We scarce fight with anybody. And they just now want to raffle 8 on this road here now, man, bro. Oh my word. Anyways.
It's also the thing with two-door cars. While it always looks lekker, the people that get out never look. You're never gracious getting out of from the back of a two-door car, because you always like your knees must go higher than your head to get out.
You tall, man.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Then I must always be the brother that sit in front. Then because I sit in front now, everybody's at the back. It means my seat must be right against me again. It's a problem being tall, guys.
My other brother, Paul. So this is actually the right of action. One of the ones that actually was like we were stupid and he was driving. But anyways, he just got his car and he wrote his car off like his parents gave him.
With how many days?
Nah, I think he had it like maybe 2 weeks or some shit like that. But I mean, obviously he's been driving it for a while, but it was officially his now. And then he wrote it off. Thankfully, we were all fine. It's just something stupid that we did a long time ago. Well, I wasn't driving. I still remember they always quoted those because in the car I was shouting, "No, Paul, no!" like in a movie. So that always comes up, and we obviously laugh about it now. But then he got in a Stina. He wanted to go lekkertjes now to get a new car, my bro. So the car was verdaald, my bro. Basically, I remember this night we have at my friend's Barry's parents' house, and the car don't want to start. So now we're trying to push start the whole time. And we're pushing it, and nothing's happening. And we're in the road that I live in, because Barry lives up the road there in Heathfield. And now eventually we're pushing it, and now Paul says, "Fuck, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna push also." So now we're all pushing the car, my bro.
There's no one on the wheel.
I say, "Paul, but if you're pushing, who's driving?" We push the car, my bro, straight into Barry's daddy's wall, my bro. The car is slapped against me, and Barry's laughing in the round. Paul said, "Oh, puss." You get in the car, you turn the ignition, the car fucking start. Hey, bro. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, the three of us is just laughing on the tar in the road. Yeah.
But so what happened to the wall? Did you guys break the wall?
It's still there. It's just a small crack.
And the
we
car was
didn't
fine.
have that much momentum, to be honest.
You know what's also funny? That thing of if you push your car, it gets easier. Like when it picks momentum up, it's easy to push your car also. Like, who was it? There was a friend also, but he was holding the wheel, but outside, holding the door. You know that move also? You're pushing the car.
Yeah.
Then when he had to jump in, he taked. But then luckily, I don't know why, but I think we were pushing up a hill maybe. Anyway, then, he fell out of the car and we then pushed the car with the doors open and stuff.
You saw pushing up a hill.
It wasn't up a hill. Was it? No, it couldn't be. Not that dumb. You push your car down a hill. It's easy. I don't know what happened or why he fell. Anyway, he fell out of his own car and then no one was pushing the car. But luckily it didn't go into Barry's mommy's wall again. And then we asked FZ,
One of my best memories is the first time that me and my cousin like went out at night with my car because we could never go anywhere before. Her brothers like never wanted to take us, and her mommy didn't want to drive at night. So we decided one night we're gonna go to assembly. And we only came home like 3 o'clock the next morning, and we felt so big because we're big girls. We're driving ourselves around. We don't have to ask our mommy to take us anywhere.
Your first trip is it's like the first day you get your license that you get to drive. Just driving alone is
Do you
the best
remember their
driving ever.
promises? No, I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna be on a seatbelt, and we're not gonna have the car, and no drinking and driving in the car, of course, mommy.
Yeah.
And no, man, we're gonna be fine. And then you also got out like, nah, can't. Nah, can't. No, thank you. I'm not having that. And then afterwards,
A month or two later, you're like, nah, it's fine, don't worry. Also, you go, we 4 people. Nah, there's still place for 2. Come with. Come, just come. It's my car. Don't worry, it's fine. Big people stuff.
look, I just need to reiterate that I know that we had crazy memories doing drinking and driving stuff, and it was I used to do it a lot, and I'm always gonna come back to this that I don't do it anymore just because I'm like everybody else on the road and kind of like that. Yeah, I'd be very very guilty, but it did happen, and I can't do anything about the past. And you know what?
But also,
Yeah.
you've lived and you've learned. I feel like that's
Yeah.
the other thing of like the closer you can learn that lesson of not drinking and driving, like the sooner the sooner the better. Also,
Yeah.
Here's Nicholas.
I think the best memory of one of my first cars, I had a 180i GLE Kentucky Rounder. I used to call that on the green goblin because it was bottle green. And my best memory is that I owned it. That's it. Because it was a machine. It was a monster. In fact, sending this voice note just made me a little bit sad that I don't have it anymore. Thanks.
It's just I remember also we had a Jetta, like a I'm trying to think what year that was. Anyway, it was not newish. It was probably like 5-6 years old, but it wasn't liquor. Like it was for dialect.
I like cheetahs. They always looked cool to me.
And they had a
Post.
moorse boot space. That was the other quiet thing. Anyway, we went up Kloofnek.
Well, both old versions. The new one was completely different. Like the jumbo, and then obviously the Mark III. But then the new one came out, and it was like the Mark IV, and it didn't look as.
But then it became
it's
like
iconic.
It also became like father cars. Like it became like working man cars, not like Brasse could drive it.
Yeah, it looked more professional than your uncle and auntie them pulling up. You know what I mean?
Full. So we're going. Everybody finished work, and then yeah. So it's probably like 5-6 o'clock. All the brasses in the car. We're going over Kloofnek to go to Campsway, not to Campsway, to Clifton, and we got stuck in traffic. And then I held up. I made traffic that day also because the car overheated. The car got stuck, and then I didn't get to pull out of the road at the right time. And then it was just back. Now people driving past and people shouting. Now we want to change. I had to get the water out of the boot, but to get the water, I had to take everybody's stuff out of the boot. Now everything is there on the pavement. All the brasses upset with me because they were like, "No, we could have just taken my car." I was like,
Nah, then
"My
why
car."
didn't take your fucking car? You know what I mean?
You see, also they were like, "Nah."
What we're gonna do about that right now, sir?
Come with solutions, not more problems, Kanala. Then, then one of my brother came through, and then he fixed the thing with like sellotape or something. Like,
He's a MacGyver, as we used to call them.
you know those, the MacGyvers of the group.
I also got stuck and held up traffic on the M3 going into town. And my daddy eventually got another car as well, which I did also drive. It was a V6 3-liter double cab. Yo, it was fuck. It's just we used to call it the devil because it used to it used to sound like the devil's laughing. And you remember also I got stuck there because that had a lot of problems. The hydraulics and everything was always fucked up on that car. So stuck on the M3 just there before you take the turn off before Cape Tech. There's another one that goes here to all those lovely Muslim houses that on top there. You know those fancy ones. So I stuck there, man, but then we eventually got it. Then we got to the petrol station, and we didn't know we must take the cap off the thing now, my bro. We take the cap off the cylinder there. And oil, like we slapped oil, just slapped to the sky, man, but it was insane. But we were laughing because we always just make cut of everything. We can't get upset about stuff. What the fuck's what are we gonna do right now about this?
The Toyota that I had, the Love Boat, that was like it was like a pup because everywhere we went, they used to leave a mark. the oil used to drip. Then one day, I went to go visit someone, and his father came and he cut me out because it was dripping on his bricks.
Oh my
And
God.
on his paving, and he's like, "You know how much money I spent on the paving?" Uncle, I didn't mean to the oil to drop. You can just get Gooders to clean it. And he's like, "No, you must come and clean it." I never went to go visit again.
Good. That was a shame.
Shame for his paving.
Take pride.
Then the last question we asked the Mensa was,
What advice will you give to someone going to get their license?
There's a lot of advice. So Dalen was first.
You're going for your license. One, don't roll when the car's not even on a hill. I failed my license first. So the first attempt I was in Ottery.
Hillsong.
I can't remember the official name of the place. Oh,
Hillsong.
I was in Ottery. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then officer was cool. Then I rolled on the hill. I still don't think I rolled. He told me I rolled. And then my plot just gave. I started shouting and having like a mad emotional breakdown. How can you fail me? I didn't roll on the hill. You see what you want to see. All of you guys are horrible. And the problem with this is, this guy didn't even respond to me. He just looked at me and said, "Are you done?" I said, "Done." And I still kept going on. He said, "Are you done?" And then after I said, "Yes, I'm done," he said, "You can go stand in the queue and book your next appointment."
Oh my.
So first, be nice to traffic officers. Don't roll on the hill, always standing still, and just give petrol. It's fine, even if your tire spin, it's fine. Give petrol.
That's
The
what I
main
did.
thing, don't roll down the hill. Give petrol. Even if you guys make car sounds before you drive, like just to make you feel comfortable when you start your car. Just go. Well, I was driving the Mazda, so I just went. Oh wait,
Guess who's been lamming with Kenny? Yeah, I also did that, like, because I was like on that incline.
Yeah,
and I didn't
yeah.
want to roll back, so I just gave it more petrol, and then you know what, it worked, and I succeeded.
So that morning that I went to go pass out. So sometimes I don't know if. Do you have a driving instructor?
Yeah, I went to Jay-Z Driving Academy in Heathfield.
Shout out to them. So my instructor, it was me, and then there was a girl that went with us the morning. Then she also went to pass out. She rolled on a 3-point turn because Hillstar, I was gonna say Hillsong now. The road isn't flat. It's also got like it's like a slight incline. Anyway, she rolled and then she failed. And then I remember seeing her come back and she just started crying. And then I had to go next, and I was like, "No man, I'm sure I'm a better driver than you." Can't you?
I know my sister failed like more than once on the manual, and she said, "Oh," then she learned on the automatic. Saying, "Well, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life," and then she went to the automatic and she passed first time.
That's
But in
great.
Heathfield, there was this girl, I'm not going to say her name, but she failed like 12 times, I think it was.
Jits.
And she used to cry, and I felt so bad, but also like your 12 times is a lot. Because everybody would talk about it because it's such a big thing around at that certain age, and
It
you're getting
is.
bang, and everybody's like, you know. But I remember the one time she said that she failed because she adjusted her seat, and because the driving instructor drove her there, and then she didn't do the sufficient checks and put on her seatbelt and stuff to adjust her seat correctly, and then then they got straight out the car and she failed without even driving or anything for one of the stuff that she
That's
failed for.
horrible.
Yeah.
But I also feel like sometimes instructors can be cuck though. Like
Yeah.
if they're in a bad mood, then they just like, "I'm catching you today. We're not allowing you through." Who was it? Kenny also. Kenwin David's our friend and a FOP, a friend of the podcast. He also
and Phil.
failed 8 times, no?
Something like that, yeah.
I know it was also quite a bit. He got it now recently. So congrats, Kenny, and
Finally.
thank you for
All the years driving illegally, I guess.
thank you for not killing us. Then we have Dub.
Advice for someone doing their driver's license the first time. Yeah, everyone's going to be nervous, eh? I don't think I've ever met someone that wasn't nervous the first time they went to go do their driver's license. But yeah, those little Calmette tablets? Those seem to help with the nerves
something?
slightly. But yeah, if you think it doesn't help, drinking won't help. I don't think that's, the guy, the traffic officer, is not going to pass you out. He'll probably fail you on the spot if he smells alcohol. Also, don't smoke a joint because, yeah, you need your reaction time when you're on the road and stuff. That guy might just say to emergency stop and you goofed. Nah, that emergency stop is not going to be emergency stop. So, yeah, why do they call it passing out also? I never understood that. Go pass your license. Don't pass out when you're doing it.
I actually never thought about that, but it's because you're gonna pass out eventually in the car.
They just foretelling your future. But yeah, he's right, guys. I don't know. Can you take car meets? I feel like car meets will also be bitchy.
I don't know. I've never had them.
I've had them once, but they didn't do much for me. But the thing of, I don't want to. You shouldn't be too relaxed when you go. You must be relaxed, but don't be like chilled.
Don't put your arm out the window and fucking ain't you.
Was it
Don't be like Farid.
Then Nicholas gave the advice.
The advice I think I would give to someone who's going for their license is, I don't know what the licensing department situation is now. I think it's always good to have cash on you just in case. And I think because like you just need to know how to drive. If you drive slow, stay in the left lane. If you don't drive slow, then yeah. But you know, I don't know. If you're going for your license, don't be cuck. It's the rules for life.
I disagree. Cash is traceable. Crayfish is not traceable. But don't give the full dopper, just the tails. Just the fucking tails.
Did I do FZ's advice?
Sorry?
Did I give FZ's advice now?
No, you didn't.
No. Yeah, this was the last one, sorry.
But crayfish tails, I'm just joking. That is just a folklore.
I don't know, try it, guys. Why don't you try it and then let us know?
The best advice I can give if you are a nervous driver and you're going for your license now, obviously go for lessons with an instructor so you know the rules of the road. But also have one driving session before you test with someone who makes you nervous. Like go with your daddy, because driving with your driving instructor is like driving with your daddy for the first time, and you're going to make mistakes and it's going to be junk. So like try to mentally prepare yourself for driving with someone who's going to make you feel anxious while you're in the car.
Look here, I was going to say something right now. Everybody thinks that their daddy is a good driver, but my daddy was a crazy fucking man. Bro. I remember this one time I asked him to teach me how to drive. This man, everybody's in the road to come outside, and he stuck us like, now. He get in the bakkie. He put his one leg outside the bakkie. My bro, he's just using one leg in the car. One leg is straggling out through the window of the bakkie, and he's going forward and back, and he's showing me how fucking easy this is right now. Like, this is not what I need. So I tried to pull the car, and so I stamped it against next to the garage here against the wall. Hey, bro. And if you want to talk about embarrassing, that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. My mom is just standing there and saying, "Hey, you want to know how to fucking drive?" And my God, it was tough, man, bro.
Guys, if any of your fathers have successfully taught you how to drive, please let us know. Because I don't think it's possible. I feel like everybody, even if your father is a driving instructor, then you go to another driving instructor, because fathers are the best worst drivers. Like you can watch them and learn, but you can't sit next to them and learn properly. You know what I mean?
I think he's a good driver, but at the same time, 2 years ago he didn't look at the booms at Kope Harbor, and then a train drove into him. But he's fine. The train saw him and it slowed down. So he was on the news. I'm looking at it. They say the messages come through. That is good. He's by a train on the Kobe beach. And he's fine. You see the pictures come through. I see the back. I see my topi laughing there. I'm obviously laughing there. The whole of the railway line come to a halt in Cape Town. Because my daddy wanted to go to the harbour now to go buy some fucking fish on a Tuesday, whatever day it was. And so, the Bakkie was okay. It got repaired and shit, but it's freak funny at the same time. It's almost like he thought he was in a getaway movie or something. We can beat the train. He didn't even know the train was just listening to fucking the Eagles or some jazz there.
He didn't even try to jump the train or do like a quiet move on Fast and Furious.
It's because those booms, it comes down sometimes and they just don't put it back up. So he just drove through and yeah.
But he's fine though.
He's Taylor.
And the car is fine.
That's fine. That's all that you do.
And then what advice do you have for new drivers?
To be honest with you, it's very, very nerve-wracking at the time to go through it.
It really is.
Like I said earlier on, my leg was shaking. I was popping. I was by my car, the pop. I was sweating bullets. It was really an uncomfortable experience. But walking there, and then I was like, I think that was my girlfriend at the time, and then also my brother all around, and I'm like, I failed. But then I was like, the CAC, and I took my license out. I'm like, salute. Do you know that the rush that I got, and everybody got because salute now we can do it, bro. And it's twice there because that's when a new adventure started for us. When it was before like finding lifts to go to the Chola, to everywhere. Now we can start living life a different way. But also at the same time, we wanted too much too soon sometimes because we were like trying to be quiet. I remember I used to, times two used to like fucking kick him out because at that time I told you about the big bucky now.
Yeah.
And I used to go and we drop him off drop him off last because he's in the youth field and everybody else used to drop in different areas.
He's closest to you, yeah.
Then I used to slat outside his house. So he faced me, remember. My daddy said, please stop doing it. So I said, no, salute. And I remember my daddy said, don't do it now. So I said, no, sure. Pop. He's just a fucking idiot. Yeah. It's just funny, innocent stuff like that also. But yeah, when is really the worst?
I think it's also like, I was never like a fast driver. And if I drive fast still,
I was never fast driver. I was like very easy.
I'm more on the skit of like it's the brasser or people. It's a slow drive. I was never like performing for me until.
Nah, maybe they were like honestly, slow lane. Yeah. Everybody's easy. No need to get there too fast. If we get there on time, we get there on time. But we don't ever go over the speed limit to risk that. I was never a speed cop like that. Yeah.
Also, none of the cars could go fast.
Yeah, especially like a 1300 bucky that had nothing to do with this light fall with me and so.
But yeah, I always looked at the brasser that had fast cars. I was like, that looks like it will be cool for you, not for me. Good for you. I hope that you guys have fun, but it also felt like too much money. Like brasser would spend the frag money on the car. They would spend more money pumping out the car than the value of the car, and that never made sense to me.
I look at it and understood because I used to grand and quite the cars.
Yeah,
my money was just redirected into a different funds. Saving and partying, it was a big thing, it really was. I loved it.
Why did I spend my money on food?
Nah, you were just in YDE every weekend. You had YDE in Jahan. Like, is Yasin here yet? No, he's still coming.
New jeans every week. Jokes, guys, imagine. Yeah.
What advice do you have, sir?
Oh, my advice would be they must just drive as much as possible. I feel like the more you drive, the more you get comfortable. Also, if you know the car. Again, if you know your first, like you know your car, like your first car, and it's just like it's a symbiotic relationship where you understand what this car does and where the clutch sometimes hack and stuff like that, then go past to that car. It's easier. And go with the hatchback, don't go with the boot.
Yeah, but I always aim at the ones who went to their car because they know their car, you know what I mean?
It was kind of funny when you see brasser, like why are you passing out with a car that has rims? It's like that doesn't make sense.
Because they're gonna find you for your tinted windows or something else.
Something that will catch you for. And why must you look under the car? You remember that pre-check, yeah.
Nothing obstructing it and stuff. Nah, I remember that.
Imagine every time you got in your car, now you're doing a pre-check.
Nah, never.
Before you leave the house, emergency, just let me check under the car, let me check the tires, let me see the mirrors.
Yeah, nah, that's just too much to do. I still remember this time, I know that we speaking a lot about driving drunk for some reason.
It's the youth days, guys.
Yeah. So we were on our way home from Tukai Forest, and it was myself, Dub, and other brasser as well. We'd pull up there, but Dub's house old, but I pull up freak awkward in the back here. It's like in the middle of the day because it's a Saturday, so now I'm dropping everyone down because we're gonna go to the Galaxy or to Atmosphere or something the night. Maybe we'll pull up there. Wow, baby. Sorry, music clopping and alles. Yeah, across the road is one of my mommy's church friends who live next door to them. Say, I saw what you did there, Mr. Orgel. And I'm just like, oh. And they say, I'm going to let your mother know about this. And I live like, again, 6 roads away. I get back home and say like, I hear you were showing off and giving the family a bad name. Like, yeah, bro.
She was quick, young.
Quick, bro.
Did she phone your mommy or did she take a walk to the house?
No. Phone. That community, bro. But again, good times back then.
We are now more responsible adults and we don't
somewhat, not all the time.
We don't condone the actions of our previous selves.
Yeah. But yeah, it was so much fun and thank you to the contributors. For this week, and Dylan as well as Nicholas
and Ifsid and Dub coming through with the liquor stories. That's all the episode this week. Again, thank you guys for all the love you share. We appreciate it so much. Keep sharing, guys, if you enjoy it. Tell your brother and tell us also what
and
you
subscribe and put the notification stuff and get it as soon as it got, and then face the means to listen to it.
What he said, exactly.
Yes,
that.
and also tell us your stories as well as what you want us to cover as well. We do have a lot of topics that we want to still come up. It's coming up really soon.
Yes.
And but to the main to say we can we do this every week? Yes, and you can explain.
No. The thing is, guys, we try to give it time for ourselves too, because we also have other jobs that we actually do. And then we also, it must marinate. Go listen to the other episodes again, go through the stuff. It's every second week is a break for everyone. And that's the second week is when we start sharing the goodies again. What else is there?
I think that's it for this week, eh?
Shout out to Finn again. Go listen to him.
Yep.
I'm Yasin Bonds.
I'm Simon Ojal.
And this is the
Reg Boys Podcast. Reg Boys.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
When they reg for you.
Safe.